Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my family's favorite chocolatey snacks, no-bake cookies. They're super easy to make with ingredients that you likely already have at home. The recipe that I'm using today comes from realmomnutrition.com, but it's very similar to the recipe that my mom used when I was a child. It calls for sugar, cocoa powder, butter, milk, peanut butter, vanilla, and oats. I like to use quick oats, but you can use old-fashioned oats. Quick oats give you a more chewy, less dense cookie. You can also substitute other nut butters for the peanut butter if you're so inclined. So I already started today with 2 cups of sugar, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 6 tablespoons of butter, and 1/2 cup of milk in a large saucepan. You want to combine these ingredients over medium-low heat, stirring occasionally. Once they've combined pretty well, you want to turn the heat up and bring it to a full boil. Let's see if we can get it boiling here. You also want to make sure that you keep stirring, that way it doesn't stick to the sides or your sugars burn. There we go, we're starting to get a boil. Now once it's boiling, we're going to set our timer for a minute, and we're just going to continue to stir while it's boiling. And you want it to boil for that full minute so that you make sure that your sugar is fully incorporated. Otherwise, you could end up with a gritty cookie, and nobody really wants that. And just keep stirring and be mindful not to overboil or scorch your sugars and your milk as you're going. Still got about 38 seconds here on this boil. As you can see, it's boiling pretty good as we're going here. Just kind of keep it going. All right, we got 25 seconds left. I'll go ahead and tell you about our next step, which will be adding in 1/2 cup of peanut butter, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3 cups of oats. Like I said, I'm using quick oats today because I do prefer the more chewy cookie. I also like to combine my oats slowly as to avoid getting things too mixed up too quickly or not mixed up quickly enough. There's my timer for my boil. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that from the heat. And I'm going to take my 1/2 cup of peanut butter that I already had measured out here and just plop it right in there. There we go. And my vanilla. We'll just give it a good mix. Make sure that peanut butter gets melted and incorporated in there nicely. All right. You also want to make sure that you're not using a natural peanut butter when you do this. Some people might be tempted to do that, but if you do, the texture's just not going to be quite right. And I did slide it back over there onto my warm burner just so that that peanut butter can get mixed in really well right now as we're going. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So next I'm going to take my oats and I'm going to pour some into this larger bowl, and I'm going to start pouring in this hot chocolate mix here. As I've got that mixed in, I'm going to start turning it in here. This is where it gets a little tricky. You got to really keep mixing it up. I think I can add some more oats now. Oh, that might have been too much, but that's okay. There's no real way to mess these up. We'll just dump the rest of the chocolate in and give it a good stir. Like I said, these are some of my family's favorite cookies. They're easy to make. You probably already have the ingredients at home, and if not, they're not hard to come by. This batch should probably make about 20 to 30 cookies. Ooh, that was hot. All right. It looks like I've gotten it all mixed up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start taking this and forming it into cookies. Okay, we're just gonna drop it by spoonful onto some parchment paper here and let it cool. Usually takes about 15 minutes to cool. You can speed it up by putting it in the refrigerator, which I have done with previous batch of cookies. Oh, it's kind of getting a little messy here. It's kind of to be expected with all this chocolatey goodness. Yeah. So like I said, this recipe makes about 20 to 30 cookies. And you know, if you're not patient enough to wait, you can always put them in the fridge. In conclusion, I hope you make these cookies with your family, and I hope everyone can enjoy a nice chocolatey treat.